What's up, guys? Welcome back to RollPlay Solum. Going into the second half here of whatever the fuck week this is, because I still have not looked it up. 9? We go with 9?
8.
See, we shouldn't even make guesses. I should just know,
8.
but I don't.
It's totally 8.
It's week 8. Cool. Neal, take it away.
So, you guys are kind of doing your same thing, waiting around town. You guys got there kind of in the middle of the afternoon, so it's pretty quickly becoming nighttime. There's a small inn built down by the by the what do you call that? The bayshore area, the harbor area. Yeah, there's a small inn built on the harbor on one of the piers where you can find lodging for a night.
We were talking about ships, though. We didn't finish the conversation.
Then please finish your conversation.
I said, we cannot sail. And they were saying, we should steal. Like, do you guys have anything to say about that afterwards?
I think it's a very compelling point that you're right. We are not trained sailors, so to steal a boat would be very problematic.
Couldn't we just ask for passage? It seems super frequent that people here, like, move around somewhat.
Yes, we can, but that too has the issue, of course, of we're traveling in intimate, on a boat with other people. They can find out about the child.
Let's at least see what it costs. There's no harm in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll see if it's worth. I mean, like you said, as much as I boast, I can't drive a boat.
We can pretend that Carla and I are together and just spend a lot of time together.
The mere fact that you call it driving a boat lets me know that you're not prepared.
Exactly. Exactly. Victorian. Exactly. And yes, we could say that perhaps you are with you're with Carla. That makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe she's wounded and I have to spend a lot of time with her.
But then the idea of a whatever her secret could perhaps even make more sense, that perhaps you're the father.
Yeah.
Which is a bad thing, not a good thing. That's more of a yeah, not a yeah.
Well,
anyways, look, me and my compatriot will go do some research tomorrow. Unless you guys want to come, it totally does not matter to me. But it's too late to do it right now. Correct, Neal?
Research on stealing a ship or buying a ship?
Yeah, they would just like go into the harbor
for 5 to Fell or whatever.
You could probably hit up the local tavern and you might be able to find something there.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Look, let's do this in two. Let's do a 2-prong attack on this. All right.
Okay.
You two don't know me and Largo. That way, when we fail, you guys can actually get one.
But then we all go on the ship together.
Look, I didn't think that far, Jocker. This is why you're the brains of this organization, clearly. All right. I won't be flamboyant. We'll go about this the correct way.
Okay.
Let's make way to the tavern, see what we can find.
All right, you get to the tavern. It is dimly lit and heavily smoky. There's a lot of people about drinking and eating and having a boisterous time. Everyone seems to be fairly happy. There's a bunch of people smoking cigars and pipes all over the place. There's a lot of music, and everyone seems to be kind of like having a jovial time dancing about. There's a lot of sailors. Yeah, there's a lot of sailors and common folk here and there. The bar is pretty crowded and looks fairly old. It's one of the few buildings that is entirely made of wood, and you can see that the wood has been here for a long time. It's been like heavily polished over the years, and there's like grooves where people will lean on the bar from their elbows over possibly centuries, who knows how long. The smell of spices comes from the kitchen, and people are moving about with dishes, hot dishes that kind of make your mouth water, moving from table to table.
Jack really likes the ambience, and he's like trying to look around to see if he can get a pipe for himself and smoke with people. So if I see like a group of people looking like humans, I would go up to them. Like humans that look chill and laid back, like not uptight people.
Yes. You notice that in this place, in addition to, it's mostly human, but you notice a couple of half-elves scattered about, as well as 3 dwarves.
Actually, if I see half-elves and they're girls, you would go for that.
There are 3 half-elves and 2 females and 1 male.
Okay, so I'll go to that group if there's some.
Yeah. The half-elves are busy speaking in Elven to one another, but they seem to be having a fairly good time, and they're not closed off at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring them some drinks.
They accept the drinks and
Wine.
say, "Oh, hello."
Hi. How are you guys doing? This is a great place. I haven't seen a good place like that in a while.
Yeah.
Where are
Thank
you
you for the
guys
drinks.
from?
What's your name?
My name's Jackry, but you can call me Jack.
Jock?
Where are you guys from?
We're from around here.
Oh, really? So you live in this town?
We do now. My name is Thanos, and these are my two sisters, Lily and Margaret.
Hmm. And you didn't live here before?
No, we moved here a few years ago. What brings you to this part of town? I haven't seen you before. You must be new.
Yeah, traveling actually. I'm looking for a passage to go to the big town. The big town nearby. Yeah, people go by there by ship, right?
Oh, you must mean Vinderfell.
Yeah, Vinderfell, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it a nice town? Have you been there?
We have been. It's fairly large, a little bit too big for my taste. There's a stronger Verossi presence there. Places like Barren are out of the way and secluded. It's easier to be peaceful. You know, it's easier to live here as a half elf than it is elsewhere.
Oh, so they're not nice to half-elves around here. Well, around Verassi areas, I guess.
Yeah, can be rough.
That's too bad. Do you want to jump to other conversations, or are we still going?
No. Are you asking the DM?
I was asking you, Neal.
You do whatever you want to do. Party. I mean, you guys feel free to interrupt her.
No, we're going.
I'm letting this play out until it's until Jacre gets
in trouble.
It's finished.
Yeah. We're letting her have her piece, man.
What are you doing, Jacre?
So, what do you guys do for a living?
Right now, we're just living off of some money that we made before, keeping a meager, low profile, and enjoying things.
Oh, so you guys don't do anything like in terms of sailing?
No. I stashed away some money back when we lived in Cretford, and ever since then we've just kind of been living off of that.
Do you guys know any other pretty sweet areas like this city?
Pretty sweet areas?
Yeah, this is.
I got a
nice.
sweet area for you.
This is a nice area.
I mean, yeah.
Other cities that are similar in terms of style?
Well, there are many. You know, just keep to the small cities and hard to reach places. Ellen is nice. Boral is nice, but it's a long ways away by ship and dangerous by land to get there. I don't know. You go to Lendrum. Lendrum's fairly nice, but we chose Barren.
Anything special here, or just the mood?
We made some friends here once, and when we decided it was time to move, we decided to move here because we had friends.
Are you guys smoking?
No. Pipeweed dulls the senses, they say.
Oh, that's too bad. I would have offered you some.
They politely smile.
Yeah, Jeffrey smiles back. They're like, well, I'll be around if you want to chat some more. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. And they return to their conversation in Elven.
I go back to the group.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to do?
While she was doing that, I put my arm around Largo and said, let's go make friends, and walked over into the bar. And as I started walking forward, my usual stride turns into a very slow and methodical lurch, as if my leg is fucked up in some sense. And I'm lurching towards the bar, like with a very heavy stride.
Okay.
I recall the old lurch technique that we used to use back in the day, and I pick up on this immediately.
Yeah, and we approach the bar.
Okay.
What type of people are sitting here?
You approach the bar in the midst of sailors, some of them who look fairly old. Kind of like you walk up at the older area, where it's the guys who've been sailing for 45 years, and they're got these weathered and leathered faces, kind of long wispy gray hairs, and they're talking heartily about the horribleness of the sea, but how they love it, and remember that time I saw a mermaid, and they just seem to be telling the same stories that they tell every night, but they're in a pretty good mood.
Okay. As we approach the bar, I asked for the I asked the bartender for a drink. Whatever is common around here. I don't know what's common.
It takes a few minutes, but you end up getting a pale ale.
Okay. What is everyone else drinking at the? They're drinking stronger liquors, I assume.
Everyone's drinking different things. This doesn't seem to be a favorite.
As we're at the bar, I talk very loudly to Largo. And I say, let me just make up a name real quick. And by make up, I mean generate one. I say, Cham, we should really go on a boat.
Cham.
Yes.
Yes, Chump.
Man, I wonder if someone in this town has a boat for us to take to another city.
I don't know. There might be some in here, but you never know.
You never know.
Very loud.
You never know.
You never know.
And I turned to the guy, whoever's sitting my left. I'm like, "Sir, do you have a boat?"
Oh, little fella. I do. I have a fishing boat.
I turn back around. I say, "That's not big enough for us, is it, Largo?"
What do you need a fishing boat for?
What did you call me? You mean Cham?
I'm sorry, Cham. Yes, Cham.
Cham Largo.
Cham Largo, of course, your last name.
I generated it as one. Well, Shash. I don't think it is big enough.
Say, we need a boat enough to fit 5 people for safe passage.
Indeed.
Well, if you're looking for safe passage, you might want to talk to one of them trader types over there. Us here are local. We tend to not go too far. One of them merchant guys might be able to help you find somewhere safe.
Is he pointing to somewhere else in the bar?
Yeah, he's pointing across to a table that has 4 men at it. They're kind of a little bit more quiet than everyone else in the bar, and you notice that they are wearing weapons.
I turn to the guy to my left and I say, "Thank you." I turn to the right and slowly lurch my way over to the table.
Okay.
As I'm like carrying the beer, I make sure that I'm almost to the point of spilling it, but I'm careful enough to not make it loose or make it fall out of the glass. But I have a very haggard walk over to them.
Okay. As you approach, they notice you guys walking and they quiet down and turn to face you.
Say, I heard you had a boat. One enough for passage of 5 to some other towns within the area.
We each have our own ships.
Each of you?
Where are you looking to go?
Well, me and my friends are looking for passage to Vinderfell up north. We've heard it's up north. We don't know how far it is.
Yeah. This is one of them. I am headed to Vinderfell soon.
What do...
2 of the other guys also say, yeah, I'm headed to Vinderfell.
Well, say, let's if you don't mind, what do you tend to travel with on your boats? And I look towards
ships.
The 3 of them. Sorry, your ships. Sorry, that's quite rude of me. Your ships?
Cargo, whatever needs to be moved. We take it, I just brought a whole bunch of hay here for some horses, and Chance over there, he points to nods to a person, is picking up a supply of beets from here.
Okay, so pretty simple stuff it seems. What say if you were to take on 5 people and perhaps 5 horses with that, what would it cost us to travel up north?
Here to Vinderfell?
Yeah.
The 3 people that say they're headed there kind of exchange glances. A passage like that would be 6 gold a head for people and 5 for the horses. Or 5 gold a head for the people, 6 gold a head for a horse.
I look towards Largo and make like wide eyes.
Covers room, board, safekeeping, passage, all that fun stuff.
Well, Cham, old buddy, how do you feel?
Your name is Cham.
Shash.
Like, well, I think I've traveled the seas myself, and I think a sailor is only as good as his boat. So, what is the name of each of your ships? What's the name of each of y'all's ships?
The friendship and the sponsorship.
Mine's the Cinderfell, says one of them.
The Cinderfell to Vinderfell. I like it.
It is quite catchy.
Another one says his ship's name is the Bootlegged Pearl, and the last one is just called Frank.
Frank?
He goes, I lost a bet. I had to name my ship Frank.
What kind of bet did you lose?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, no, you're among friends, right? How did he lose what bet did he lose? And I asked one of the other guys, one of the other captains.
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it, but they might. Are they laughing when I'm doing this, or they look very serious?
They're not. They don't look super serious, but they're just kind of like. They're letting him take care of the situation.
Okay. Like, well, must have been a pretty big bet if your name of your boat's Frank. Ship. Look, I need to talk to my friends.
What are you guys in? He says.
Do what?
What sort of trouble are you guys in?
Sort of trouble? Who said we're in any trouble?
You're mixing up each other's names, and you said you used to the seas, but you keep calling my ship a boat.
It's not trouble. It's just that we've been drinking. We're in no trouble at all.
And you guys can't get each other's names right because you're drinking. You're calling each other by your own names?
Sir, how much do you know about a life of a gnome?
Admittedly, not a much, but I know the life.
Exactly. Gnomes have many names for themselves. They have friendly names, they have their normal names, and they have names that they go to boat captains with, sir.
Uh-huh. So what are you running from?
Nothing. We're running from a good time. It follows us wherever we go. He goes, look, I need to, I might take you up on that offer. What's your name, by the way? And he points to the captain of Frank.
He says, no, I'm not taking you.
He goes, well, I'd expect more from a ship named Frank. But nonetheless, what about the two of you?
Scratched their beards. One was like, yeah, I'll take you. I'm headed out in a couple of days.
He goes, and what's the name of your boat? I quite liked Frank.
The Bootlegged Pearl.
The Bootlegged Pearl.
Boot.
Pearls can have boots and legs?
Do you want passage on my ship or not? Smart ass.
I look towards Largo wide-eyed again.
Before we talk ourselves out of this passage, we're interested. So when are you leaving?
Couple of days, whenever the tides are right.
I turn back and I'm like, well, let me talk it over with me and my friends. And where can we find you? What's your name, by the way?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, Jesus, I've had way too much to drink. Where can we find you on this on the harbor?
Right about here.
Right here in this bar.
That or on my ship.
Okay. And we will one more time, what's the name of the ship? The Bootlegged Pearl?
That's it.
I shan't forget it, sir. I shan't forget it.
You best find me, because I ain't going to come find you, and I'll leave without you unless you find me first.
I wouldn't expect any more. I say, good day, gentlemen, and I walk haggardly away with Largo. Go up to the bar and order a round of whatever the strongest stuff is for the captains.
Okay.
How much is that?
There's 5 of them, so it's 2 silver, 5 copper.
All together?
Yeah.
Okay. And order that, and I walk over to unless Victorian's doing something else during all of this.
No, I'm just like eating and chilling in there.
Okay. I go over to Victorian. I'm like, I think we might have found passage up north. But they're a little bit shifty, and it's going to cost us.
Cost us what?
I think he said somewhere along the lines of 5 gold a person, 6 gold a horse.
Well, that's not that expensive at all. I don't think.
I mean, it's 25.
Seems reasonable.
20. It's about 50, 55 gold in all.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. If you guys vetted these people, you think? I mean, they're a little bit shifty, but should we be all right?
I mean, have you sailed before, Victorian?
No.
I haven't either, and I would assume that most sailors are a little shifty. They are also armed, which makes me believe that perhaps they're not as forthcoming about their cargo as one should expect.
Dangerous times. Men and I've seen even women armed at these times. So.
That's true. That's true. He said we can either meet him here. I mean, if you want to seal the deal, we can do it tonight. We need to. Where'd Jockery get off to?
Jockery, he has his evening smoke when he does his hip hop music out in the back with the kids, and he'll usually try to lure a woman out into the woods, but that hasn't worked yet.
Are they trying to find herbs out in the woods again?
Yes, he calls them herbs. It's pretty funny.
Okay, well, perhaps we'll collect him in the morning.
Yes, let us do that. You said we would leave when then? When are they expecting us?
I think they said, and I turned to Largo, it was a couple days, was it not?
Yeah, whenever the tides were right, he said.
So and he said,
I think okay. Days. I don't know anything about the tides or when they're right or wrong.
I don't either, but he said he'd leave without us, so we need to either figure out the tides or just kind of camp that spot out.
Let's plan on leaving tomorrow then, or at least being near the boat to then leave tomorrow.
Okay, well, I can go talk to him and confirm right now if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah, I think it sounds... Well, I mean, we should talk to Jockery first.
We should, yeah, let's talk to Jockery. Also, last things last, what do you feel, or how do you feel about the bootlegged pearl? Just throwing that out there.
What is the bootlegged pearl?
It's the name of the ship. I don't like it, but I wanted your opinion.
The name?
The name, yes.
I think it's wonderfully crafted, and I'm sure it has deep meaning, and the person that did it is extremely intelligent.
The other one was named Frank, though, and I think that sounds better. But he won't take us.
I think Frank's a gorgeous name. I think the people of the name Frank are one of, if not the greatest people that I've ever met.
Would you rather ride on Frank or the bootlegged pearl?
That's an exquisite question. This all sounds thrilling.
Would you like to ride on Frank?
To be honest, I've never ridden a Frank and I've never ridden a Pearl, and they both sound equally enticing. I'm excited at the entire endeavor. Either one, if I can get a good ride.
Should we perhaps roll a die or flick a coin to see which one we choose?
That's exciting and thrilling. Either one.
Could you do the honors for us?
Absolutely.
All right. I look around. I'd say, well, I've only got this coin. I don't have any die on me. Why don't you do the honors? And I hand it to him.
Sweet. We don't really have any choice in the matter.
No, we always have choices.
But one of them, I think, is not riding on Frank.
Frank is quite rideable, Largo. You keep your mouth shut. Why don't we think? Let's leave it to chance. Largo stole this coin not 2 days ago, and we can make sure that we choose the right boat through Lady Luck.
Give me perception checks at -10.
Okay.
Just the three of you, not Jeffrey.
Wait.
God damn it, Victorian!
Oh,
should the rest of us roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll if you want. It doesn't really matter that much.
That's so cool.
God, I am fucking aware these last couple of times.
Man. So you're having a conversation with these guys when you notice this this man walk up to the captains that Smee and Largo had just come from. He's wearing plate armor with a cloak. With a gray cloak flapping behind him with red around the border. He's carrying a longsword at his side, and he looks very stern. He's got a helmet tucked around underneath one arm.
What does the helmet look like?
It's like a full helm with a nose guard that would come down in front. It's got a little bit of a bushy top on it, but not very bushy, just a little bushy.
Neal, I rolled a perfect 20, and I noticed a heavily armed guy with a helmet under his arm walking into the bar.
Well, no, because the bar is really fucking crowded, and you're in the middle of this conversation. That's across the room. It's the sort of thing that most people would miss in a heavily crowded room like this.
What kind of cologne is he wearing? Because that's
you don't know. All you can smell is the spiced potatoes from the kitchen.
Nice. That's fine. I will settle for that.
You notice he walks up to them and they start chatting for a little bit. The man plops down a bag on the table, shakes hands with someone, and then walks off.
Do we see which captain he shakes hands with?
You don't, but Victarion does.
So I notice this. I look over to Largo and Shmi, and I say, don't ask questions. Follow that man in the cape real quick for me. Just keep an eye on him tonight.
I lean over and... Will do. Have a good day. I put my beer on the table.
What did the man in the cape... Oh, yeah, you said don't ask questions.
So as they presumably go off to tail him, I'm going to walk up to the table and introduce myself.
Okay. All right. You walk up to the table.
Good evening, fine sirs. May I
as you do, you notice that... as you're walking up to the table, you notice one of the guys leans over and whispers something to kind of everyone else. Like, they're all sitting around the table. He kind of leans in, whispers something, and everyone kind of looks over towards you as you walk up.
Okay. I have a huge shit-eating grin on my face. I walk up. Gentlemen, my name is Victarion Black. Can I buy you a round of whatever that gorgeous amber ale you're drinking is?
We're good for now. Maybe in a little bit.
All right. A shrewd man. I like you already. You know when you've had enough. I appreciate that. I always say never sail drunk. It's not good. Anyways.
One of them starts laughing to himself at that.
As I said, my name is Victarion Black. I do believe my friend, the two shorter fellows, they might have introduced themselves. We've hired, I believe it's the bootlegged Pearl for passage to the city that I'm thinking of. It is Vinderfell.
No contract's been made till coin's on the table.
Ah, you are owed coin. So it's 5 gold per head, is it not?
5 gold per person, 6 per horse.
6 per horse. That'll be 25 for the people. Is that correct? 3.
Yes.
Carla. Are we claiming the child? Is this child 5th?
There's 4 of you Carla. Plus Carla. It's 5.
Oh, right. There's 4 of us. Okay. Okay, so 25. And then how many horses do we have? We have
4. 3.
Well, not 5.
No, because I have 1. Largo has 1.
And Carla has 1.
Carla has 1. Jacre has 1.
4. Your horse didn't die, JP? No, your horse didn't die.
No.
No, 4
so it's
horses.
24 and 25, so it's 49. So I give him 49 gold. Yes.
Okay.
Let me take that off.
He counts it out, plays with a little bit, says, okay. I should leave in the next day or two. Bootlegged Pearl down on the harbor. We'll leave at dawn. Come by tomorrow at dawn, see if we're leaving. If not, we'll be leaving the next day. Tide should be right by then.
All good then, friend. I should let you know, just so that there's no surprises. We're just going to is it Vinter? Yeah, Vinderfell. And we are armed, but of course, as this is a business transaction, we'll stick to our own duties, and if you need help with anything, let us know. But that's just so you can expect what we are.
I'd appreciate you being upfront about that. Do you mind telling me what you guys are running from? What trouble am I getting myself into?
No. If there were any trouble to alert you to, we would let you know. I guess the safest way to answer this would just be that the traveling is dangerous, as you know. I'm sure you look like seasoned sailors, and we fought many a beast in leaving the center of land. We've come from, as I begin to look, kind of the Belwick area, those cities over there. So we encountered some beasts, so we have to be armed. But no, there's no one in pursuit of us that we know of.
Your friends seemed awfully shifty. Couldn't get their facts straight.
They're shifty people. You know, you must understand. I can assure you, though, Jacre does not steal.
Well,
Jacre does
not. Does he just point at me as I'm talking?
I knew the Texan would get the joke at least. What's that? Jen?
Well,
No, he doesn't point at you.
if you want this no questions asked thing, chip another 10 gold, and I'll stop asking questions.
I can respect that. Sure, I'll give him another 10 gold.
Okay. Better not be bringing any trouble after me though. But I don't know.
If I was bringing more trouble, I'd give you 10 more gold, huh? And I just walk away.
Okay.
We're tailing this guy, Neal.
Okay.
I'm doing my best to move silently and hide in shadows.
What are your move silently checks, gentlemen?
I'm 95.
Jesus.
Okay, give me 1 sec. You just need move silently?
Just move silently for now.
Mine is 85.
All right. You guys move silently as a cat's whisper and follow this gentleman.
Cat's whisper.
Yeah, cat's whisper. He heads outside and around the tavern to a staircase that leads up towards a set of inn rooms above the bar that were accessible from outside. You go upstairs into one of them, opens the door, walks in, and then you hear a clunk of some sort of like bar being placed across the door on the other side.
Are there any windows looking inside?
There is a window looking inside.
Would I have to climb to get up to it?
No, you could go up on. It would be at navel level for a person. So you could. Actually, you're like 2 feet tall.
I'm 3 feet tall, yeah.
You're 3 feet tall?
3 feet.
Okay, yeah, you could peer in.
Yeah, I want to go do that. Move silently up there and peer in.
Okay. The blinds are drawn on the inside.
Do I hear anything?
You do. What's your detect noise?
Very low, 25.
Okay.
Well, I'd be with him, right?
Right, totally.
My detect noise is 35, if that affects anything.
Okay. You both listen at the door and at the window, and you just hear the sound of someone moving about, like heavy footsteps. It sounds like boots on hardwood. And that's pretty much all you can get.
And it sounds like the heavy footstep of like the man that was walking around with armor inside?
Yeah. You just hear him walking around for a little bit.
I think he's in there.
I'm like, Largo, you haven't picked up anything in these years we've been separated. I say, do you want to go inside?
No, I don't.
Should we knock on this door?
I think we should. I think what we should do is wait until we don't hear the footsteps anymore.
Okay,
and lockpick the door.
Wait, but we heard I think there's something behind this door, so that even if we tried to open it, it would not. Like I sense some sort of mechanism fall behind it.
You could be right. Neal, is it possible, you know those like thieves that have the thing that does the circle on glass that like is very silent and it just does
I know
the
what you're talking
circle?
about. Does the circle.
Can we buy a circle thing?
You buy a glass cutter?
Yeah.
But for wood?
You would know as a thief that you just need something nice and sharp to break the outer layer, and then you can pop it in. So you'd need something like a very hard gemstone, like a diamond or something, that would be the right size with like a nice handle that you could. There's a special tool for cutting glass.
And it would be silent.
No,
I mean the circle thing is silent, so
it's not silent.
It's not.
That's Hollywood, man.
You know, I've seen some movies. All right.
It's supposed to be silent in the movies.
Yeah, it's silent because
of the diamond.
like you're basically dragging a piece of diamond or something very very hard like that across glass. It's gonna make a sound as you like draw it through. I'm pretty sure. Have you ever like had like glass cut for you at a Home Depot or something? It's not exactly.
But I'm a ninja, so.
That's true. We are ninjas, Neal.
Yeah, I mean, you just really need to score the glass, kind of roughly.
I see. Well,
it's not super loud, depending on tools and whatnot, but it's not like deathly quiet.
I look at Largo and I'm like, what if we broke this glass and hid, and see what happened? Or we could go downstairs and talk with Victorian about it. This guy's not going anywhere.
We could. Okay, let's look around
Okay.
and let's throw a rock through it and then run. Let's make sure that nobody can see us. If
Very
we're gonna
elegant.
break it, we might as well make it look like an act of vandalism.
Do you have a rock?
Is there any around? I'm sure we could find a rock.
You guys can probably find a rock.
Okay.
How's your throwing arm, old friend?
It's actually pretty good. Well, would high dex be?
Yeah.
Okay, it's quite good.
Okay, I'm gonna hide in shadows down below. You throw that rock, and if anything goes bad, we'll run and get Victari.
Okay, so first of all, I look around for like 5 minutes to make sure that there's nobody watching.
Yeah, you find yourself a nice big heavy rock. You look around, make sure no one's watching. It's pretty quiet, small town. You can totally get away with this without no one looking, you think.
Okay, and I also want to wait until the footsteps settle down inside.
Okay, you give it 20 minutes, and let's quickly pop back to everyone else before you go through this action.
Okay.
The gnome and you're both gnomes, right?
He is a halfling.
No, the gnome and the halfling have been gone for like 20 minutes now, or 15 minutes now.
I wouldn't
What do
have
you guys do?
noticed. I think I would have went to the group of humans that were smoking and joined them if they let
Okay,
me.
they offered you some pipe weed.
Okay, I smoke with them.
Okay, you guys have a good time. You're a little out of it.
We'll cut back to
Okay.
the orgy in a minute.
Eventually,
Neil,
it drops
I make my way to the
later in the night.
bartender.
Huh?
You do what? You do what with the bartender?
I make my way to the bartender after I
You said
laugh
I make
and walk over to
naked
the
with the
table.
bartender. I was very
No, I did not say
confused.
that. We're not there yet, Neil.
Okay.
Soon.
Eventually, the bartender comes over to you. He seems to be pretty busy, and he wipes some sweat off his brow. He's like, "Yeah, what can I get for you?"
I will take a cup of your wisest ale, and I push 5 gold to him. Your wisest ale. All
Yeah.
of the wise.
I think I've got some of that down here in the cellar. Come back here. Hop over the bar. With me.
oh, sure.
Right, here, there's a door. He opens a flap for you, and you guys take a walk behind the bar.
Okay, once we're out of earshot, I say, I'd like to just ask your opinion on the captains of the ship, and then I have one more question for you as well.
Well, I just want to say that he opened the flap on the bar, and then you guys walk down underneath the bar. Like there's a little
Yeah.
a cellar door, and you guys walk down. So you're in a cellar that is lit only by a single torch. So it's pretty dark. You wanted to know something about the captains? What?
Yeah, anything you got on the bootlegged Pearl and Frank and I forget the name of the third ship, but those captains, what do you think about them?
They
do you
come
know?
through here every now and then. They're probably armed, usually, or they're armed. They tend to move supplies, whether they're legal or not. You know, they.
No known ties to Verossi or anything like that. They seem to keep to their own. They're pretty good people.
No, Corsairs like that just kind of they do their own thing. They make a buck where they can. I'd only trust them as far as your gold goes.
Fair enough, friend. Last question, and I do appreciate your time. A man came to them, a man I haven't seen the likes of. He was very well armed. He was in full plate mail, had a cape and a helmet underneath his arm. Do you know anything of him?
Yeah, he's one of them Templar folk.
A Templar, you say? I've not heard of this. What is he?
I don't know. They've been showing up around here lately, past 4 or 5 months, popping into towns. I hear that from the sailors that they've been showing up all over the fjords lately. I don't. No one knows what they're up to. They keep their mouth shut about things, but something's
Are
going.
they pro Verossi or con Verossi?
No one really knows.
Really?
They keep their mouth shut. They don't really talk to anyone. I got a friend. He took one of them. Took a crew of them from one place to another. It was a month journey on the sea. They didn't say it was something to him once. They paid him coin. Then when they got off, they paid him a little bit more coin and walked away. They have a lot of money. No one really knows who they are, where they came from, or why they have so much money, but they're about, and they don't seem to be afraid of anyone.
Very interesting. You have been most helpful, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Those Corsairs, I've seen, not those guys, but one of their friends has worked with those Templar before. I don't know what it means, but I try and keep my head out of trouble.
Understandably.
The
Which
course
friend
has-
was it, if you don't mind pointing me in his direction?
He's not here. He's somewhere else.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, no, you've been most helpful. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, all right. And you guys leave.
Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, I guess I just kind of wait in the tavern for word from Largo and Shmi.
How long will you wait for word from Largo and Shmi before you decide to go out and find them?
Oh, presumably, several hours at least.
Okay, cool. Largo and Shmi. We go back to you. Largo, you've got your rock poised and ready to throw at the window. It is a non-moving target. You're going to hit it unless you roll a 1, but give me an attack roll, d20
That's
plus
very
5.
possible.
Okay, so hold on. I want to map out everything I'm going to do before I do this. So, Smee is already. Can you paint a picture of the surrounding area? Like, is there a great place to hide that Smee is already ready and waiting?
You don't know where I'm hidden.
Well, is there a spot for me to go to after I throw this? That's not obvious.
One sec. Ah. All right. Are you guys looking at roll 20?
Yep, we see the.
All right. So here's
There you
what we got. We've got like this is the stair. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. This right here is like the staircase leading up to the second floor.
Mhm.
This right here would be a kind of like a balcony that runs along the side, and there are a couple of rooms here. There's a door here, a door here, a door here, and a door here. And forgive this for not being super to scale.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Good, glad. The person
This time.
who you don't know walked into this room.
Okay.
So there are 3 other adjacent rooms.
There are.
Neil, how tall is this building? Like, is it?
This
and
is the second story of the building, and this building is only 2 stories tall. Many of the other buildings here are 2 stories as well, because there's not actually a lot of land.
Is it a flat top or is it a steeple? Type
It's not. It's a peaked roof.
yeah. It's peaked. Okay.
Okay, here's what I want to do. Is there a way for me to get up onto the roof?
Onto the roof.
Yes.
You look around. A little on the short side.
I have a jumping
What's your-
proficiency.
Okay, what's your climb walls check?
45.
45. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that maybe if you had a little help, like a boost from someone, you might be able to climb up on something. You could try it without the boost, but you'd be better off with the boost.
I quietly ask for Smee. Smee,
I'm hidden.
Sweet.
What?
Smee, come help me up here real quick.
Wait, where? I'm boosting you on the roof? He's gonna
Yeah.
hear your footsteps.
No. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get right above the window. I'm gonna tie a rope onto the rock and smash down, bring the rock back up, and then he'll never see me.
Okay. It sounds like a good plan. Okay, I boost him up
All right,
quietly as
give
possible.
me a climb walls check, and I'm going to give you a plus 25 for your boost from Smee.